noises. All of the noises. It boosts up your anxiety, but also your existential crisis in your mind. For someone who's known as a light sleeper myself, sometimes you just forget that you overslept too much of your time. Soon I was starting to realize that I didn't make the time to put away my work clothes, due to staying up late for productive reasons like a workaholic machine, which leads consequences to my energy and even my own identity. But the real question is, was my time worth sacrificing for? Or am I just wasting my energy due to the reckless decisions I've made for myself? I just can't stand it anymore. From all of the pain hitting through my eyesight, to the tension of the bloodstream kicking in through my veins where enough is enough. I hold on to my mattress just to slow down and breathe, just to calm myself down. As I'm trying my best to catch my breath slowly, I decide to take a look at the window from a distance, just to remind myself that I get to see the light of day again. But what's even the point if this day is just nothing but thunderclouds, rainstorms, and just me complaining over the pain of my sleep struggle? But I have no other choice but to force myself to stay awake and get out of bed. I often question myself, how am I supposed to break this sleepless curse? Well, the best answer I can think of for now is, take things easy and start things simple. One of the best things about raising a dog as your personal animal companion, dogs like mine showcases an example that they are the perfect comfort buddy to have, which is why dogs are always considered to be a man's best friend to me. I picked myself up to stood by the window closely, to possibly have a chance to see proper daylight again, but as I've already noticed, it's nothing but pouring rain outdoors in my view. As I stare through the window from the pouring rain with the strong winds outside, I just can't help it but to think about that it's a reminder of my negative emotions from what I'm feeling right now. In times like this, I've tried my best to not think about the past tragedies that I've gone through, as I will never forget about the impact that it has done to my life before. As I was about to put my laundry away, something doesn't feel right. It felt like the blood pressure was kicking in through my respiratory system badly. The tension of the pressure feels so much worse than before that it makes my hand starts to shake through the pain of my veins. I couldn't help myself but to panic, to stress out from the pain that I'm feeling through. So then I quickly decided to check my pulse just to check my heart rate to feel low as soon as I calm myself down again. I have never experienced a health issue this intense before. I honestly feel like it was my last remaining seconds to breathe and live at this moment. As of right now, at least I felt like I've got another chance to move on. To continue on doing for what I've got to do. Even if the pressure hurts you like a fire through the flames, you just gotta tough it up and be strong enough to fight against it. Because no matter if it hurts like hell, have the opportunity to move on to achieve your simple goals for your day. As I make the time to reflect myself to the mirror, I decide to take a glimpse of how does my eyes look like after the sleepless hours that I've been getting recently. A Eventually, when I was letting my eye pupils swift from left to right to different angles, I started to notice that the red veins are starting to become a lot more noticeable from my eyesight. Which is probably one of the reasons why my eyes feel so dry every time I overslept through sleepless hours, including the idea of why my eyelids burn every time I squint my eye pupils close. If there's one possible solution to solve it. Until now, I probably must have found one. I've always been very skeptical of using eye drops because I know it's going to burn my pupils when I decide to drop one of them inside of my eyes. But if this is the only possible solution to solve over the symptoms of my red veins through my pupils, then so be it. I knew it was gonna burn through my eyes once when I dropped it from that one squeeze. And just because I did it to one, I have no other choice but to do it to the other. Once when the burning tension starts to fade away, I decide to check on my eyes again to see if it can really do the magic trick. But then I realize, was it the right decision, or was it the wrong decision to make it worse? You know, they often say that there's a thematic conflict between man versus self. This is something that I often do every time I look at myself in the mirror. Because there's no other ultimate enemy or opponent. It's nobody else but me. And I blame myself with these unhealthy habits that I've been mistreating with my sleepless hours. Just to get those negative thoughts out of my head, I decide to go to the refrigerator to see what is the most refreshing nutrients to get my mind off of it. But then I realize I have some coconut milk just to make some coffee. In order to not feel dead on the inside, I feel like I deserve to have myself a cup of coffee. Even if it has caffeine in it, that doesn't really matter. What matters most is, I'm gonna need a hot, refreshing drink like this just to keep me energized and stay awake for a couple of hours. Because no matter for what people say about coffee, whether it's too little or too much, it's the beneficial drink that I need to receive to myself as of right now. So on today's local forecast, we are expecting some more rainstorms. Whoop-de-doo, looking forward to that. What could possibly go wrong? Unexpectedly, the brightness of the white screen is making my eyes feel a lot more intense than it was before. I couldn't be able to focus to see what's on the screen just because it's way too bright for my eyes. If only if I searched myself a pair of glasses to put on. Such coincidence. I literally just found a pair of glasses unexpectedly in front of me. Sometimes I even wonder why I don't use it that much in recent times. But regardless, for the glasses that I've got in my hands right now, I just gotta observe to see if it's in good condition for me to wear it, as I would consider this as to be something very resourceful for me right now. Hopefully it's one of those anti-glare glasses that will protect me away from the blue lighting of the computer. Well, surprise, surprise. The clear lenses of the glasses looks pretty good so far. So far as of right now, I don't feel any burning tensions through my eyes from just staring at the white screen now. which now it's my open door opportunity just to look up for what's going on with my sleep issues. Time to type the number one curious question on why am I struggling to sleep. Insomnia. I should have known about this since the beginning. The one major fact that I've known about insomnia based on my own knowledge, I'm aware that it's a sleeping disorder that triggers my body whenever I'm staying up too late at night. As I'm reading more details about the causes of the symptoms, the more that I'm starting to notice that I've been fighting through these symptoms for the past few nights. Now I'm wondering if it's still good to drink coffee at a time like this. Who cares? It's only just for one night either way. So what if it keeps my body caffeinated? I need to continue on my research about my insomnia. Or maybe I should have think twice before I made my decision about it sooner. Because now I realize that I recently just made a mistake to myself once again. Great, now I just lost track of time. I should have drank that coffee way earlier in the daylight. The things I do to myself at times like this. What am I supposed to do to feel tired at this point? Unless if I made the decision to vent off my emotions by writing it all down on my personal journal. I mean, after all, life is like a storybook, right? So you go ahead and be the storyteller of how you want your next chapter to end. And I know exactly what to write about my potential closure to my own story. And if you're wondering of what is it about, it's writing all about my last dying wishes. In case if I don't wake up to live another day, I feel like this is the time that I should be writing everything of what I want to share before I eventually passed out someday. If I'm considered to be running out of time, then I have to make the time to share for what I've got to share before my time is up. As time goes by, I vented off my stressful emotions, all of the frustrating thoughts in my head, and most of my secrets that I have to get off of my chest. Hopefully there's someone out there that I know who is close to me, who would be willing to read all of these secrets and all of my dying wishes that I hope that people would remember me for. If I ever end up being forgotten when I'm gone, or eventually I'll be remembered from who I am today. So for anyone who knows me closely will never forget of who I am. Just to be grateful and feel satisfied from the time that I live on for my life. Even if I'm ending my life by fighting against my own sins, until it's the day of my fate to die. But there's a part of me that doesn't want my life to be over this soon. I mean, as much as I started to think about it more, it's all my fault for not being responsible enough to take care of my own health. Which is why I'm feeling like I'm killing my own health for the sake of not sleeping well. If I could turn back time, I would be willing to redeem my own personal flaws and be careful to never suffer through insomnia ever again. But what am I supposed to do to fix it first? But suddenly, once when I got interrupted by the knocking sound from the door, turns out my dad needs some last minute help from me at the garage tonight. So then I said, "Yes sir, I'll be right there." When I was about to leave to go help out my dad, I turned around to look at the time and I realized it's already past midnight. Around at a time like this, I should be preparing myself to go to bed. But instead, I have the choice to either maintain a better sleeping schedule and go to bed right away, or I decide to go help out my dad tonight to get the job done. But due to my tenacity on getting things done and over with, if it's just a small favor to help out, then I should be rewarded with a well-deserved sleep tonight. I mean, as soon as I can get this job done quickly, hopefully I can get back to bed back on time before 3 a.m. at the latest. Apparently things haven't aged well, unfortunately. Looks like that last minute help turns out to be way longer than I expected it to be. It just led nothing but scum and dirt polka dots all over to my face. Or in other words, there's no way I'm going to sleep looking like this. So I must remove all of it out of my face. Once when I was finally done rinsing and drying my face off, I returned back to the same spot where I was looking back at my own reflection. Looking back at the same spot where I was before. However, I'm just overall very satisfied that I finally got the job for what I need to finish on. Even I was aware that it was going to be a dirty task to handle. At least it was a new skill that I get to teach myself on something that I'm not used to doing. Because I'll admit, I do in fact blame myself for the reasons that I keep on staying up late as I shouldn't be. I should at least credit myself for all the work that I've been working hard on lately. At the end of the day, that's the gift that I'm personally rewarded with. But at the exact same time, I still blame myself that it's my own fault that I keep on limiting my sleep hours. It might be too late for me to go to sleep early as I should be, but it's never too late to get a proper sleep tonight. So I must keep on trying until I get better at it. It's almost 4:30 a.m. already. Shame on you for not going back to bed on time. Whether if these sleeping gummies work or not, I absolutely love the fruity and berry flavors that it has. It just has rich flavors that satisfies my taste buds before I go to bed. Usually, I cannot stand sleeping through the heat, so I gotta turn on the AC to feel the cold breeze as I sleep. Since I've considered myself to be a light sleeper, I have no other choice but to get myself a sleeping mask in order to not wake up too much when I'm waking up in the middle of the night. Dare I say, it makes my eyes feel cozy whenever I put it on. As long as it remains to be in the same position, I should be fine for now. I use this prop as an extra nightlight for me to go to sleep when the timer goes off and... great. I had to get myself up just to turn off the lamp from the other side of the room. On the bright side, I got this Vicks vapor machine where I could smell some refreshing nutrients from its scent, alongside for being a luminous and beautiful looking nightlight. Now, after all of those countless hours of staying up too late, I can finally rest to sleep well peacefully like a baby sleeping in his crib. But unfortunately, my resting hours didn't last that long. It turns out that I just woke up from another horrible nightmare that keeps me awake again, because this isn't the first time that this has happened to me before. I wonder, why do I even deserve this? Am I just overthinking about my sleep anxiety again? Or maybe I'm just taking myself way too seriously. Whatever. Just forget about it and go back to sleep. Here we go again. Once when the AC shuts itself off automatically, my body temperature doesn't feel cool when I sleep. I mean, come on, when will I ever take a break from this insomnia issue, man? Well, then I might as well get up to go fix this minor issue. Once again, it's the things I do to myself. But hopefully this doesn't happen again throughout my whole night. No matter how long it's gonna take for me to get some well-deserved sleep, I just gotta clear my head, stop overthinking, let my body relax, and hopefully, I won't end up staying up too late for another night being sleepless. As the sun rises brightly in the next morning, the unthinkable has happened. From all of the stress and rough experience last night, my body was starting to feel a lot more relaxed than compared to how it felt like yesterday. And you want to know what's the best results about it? Surprisingly, I fell asleep through 8.5 hours through my sleep as I should. I have no idea how much my body functions through that amount of time to sleep. But however, it's a huge step in the right direction, because I've never felt this satisfied or even this alive ever since I woke up for the past few nights. Which means I feel a lot more satisfied for this wake up compared to the other nights I've had in the past. I honestly felt like my soul was rising from the grave just to feel reborn again. So I gotta keep reminding myself to stay on track on getting at least 8.5 hours of sleep at the most. Since now that I feel like my energy is being restored inside of me, I feel much more motivated to get out of my bed and appreciate the small little things that are a part of my life. Because I gotta keep reminding myself, not every day is gonna be as perfect as you expect it to be. There will be some best days, and there will be some worst days for a reason. Even if it's counting on my last final days of being alive, I should be reminded of the gratitude of how much that I appreciate for living in this world. Besides, if you consider yourself to be a mess, how about you decide to fix that up to clean that mess for yourself? Because I should always remember, it's never too late to fix for what is broken. You can always make the time to fix it as soon as you can. Looking back at my reflection just to see if there's any major updates on how I look. I say my natural features looks pretty decent for the most part. But the current question that has come up to my mind is, to squeeze or not to squeeze? That is the question regarding to the eye drops. Now if I want to be completely honest, I believe I most likely would survive without it. Because if I personally feel that my eyes are feeling a lot better, then what's the point of using eye drops to make my eyes suffer? Besides, it's better off to refresh myself by taking things easy for my own self-care. So I might as well just rinse and wash it all away. Or in other words, to best describe it as, it's better to rinse off the negativity to rediscover that sense of positivity returning back to you, which results a more clear and healthier state of mind. And speaking of making more healthier choices, I've checked my refrigerator to see if I've got any healthy options, and turns out, I do. The idea of snacking on raspberries, blueberries, and drinking myself some homemade carrot juice, these are probably the best, healthiest options that I can feed to myself for breakfast at this moment. But first things first, I must feed myself a handful of blueberries to satisfy my taste buds. That's more like it. Also, I can't forget about crediting the unique and rich flavors of the raspberries. I swear when it comes to eating fruits like berries, the energy in your body feels a lot more boosted up than it was before. Plus, to save the best for last, having that nice and refreshing sip of homemade carrot juice. And now I'm honestly proud of myself for consuming all of these nutrients in my body. So now that I feel a lot more energized after eating that healthy breakfast, I say it's the perfect time to clear things out of my head by just going out for a simple walk outside. Yes, this is exactly what I need. A breath of fresh air and the sunlight shining down on me. It's just the perfect weather condition for me to step outside for a day like this. It's also the best idea for me to do in my spare time. to use this time to have a self-reflection about myself in a positive perspective. Although that I'm very aware of the flaws that I've done to myself, that doesn't mean I shouldn't allow those flaws to overcome the possibilities of my redemption. Because overall, at the end of the day, I just feel eternally blessed just to take a view of this beautiful and green environment that I'm witnessing, as it's also another reminder of why should I be grateful to live another day in the first place, to appreciate and to cherish the moments as I should be too blessed to be stressed. From whichever direction I'm heading off to, I still remain to choose on pursuing the path on improving on my happiness and health first and foremost, and I can always make the time to keep on improving my health for as long as I live. So I keep moving forward to the light of day until I've returned back home safely from the darkest of night, as I return back home in the nick of time before midnight, which means it's a good sign that I'm progressing ahead to keep continuing on self-improving on my own health. Since I've never felt this refreshed from my own energy in a while, as I will admit that it was truly well deserved. It has also reminded me of an important message that I've been reading from this book called 101 Secrets for Your 20s. Including an important message that I learned from this book. I remember that I used to highlight all of the important messages that I can learn from this book, that I even used to make the decision to write it all down in my journal. So I truly believe that this is the right time to return to that phase once again, as I consider it to be a good idea to read and write all about it before I go to sleep. But first things first, I've got to gather all of my important necessities in my preparation to go back to sleep. Since everything to me is starting to feel like a full circle story that's leading up to a satisfying closure to an arc that I need to conclude. You just gotta take yourself easy at first, to slow down and cherish the moment to relax. To always remember that your happiness and your health must be taken care of first and foremost. That's what everyone deserves to have. It's so refreshing to feel all cozy underneath my bed sheets again. So now that I'm finally prepared to relax and lie down, off to reading and writing about the most important messages that I can teach to myself from this book, as it all starts off with me being the storyteller to write the next chapter of my own story. Since I suggest this as a great idea for me to go to sleep rather than just staring at a white screen from a cell phone throughout the night. Because I realize the more that I complain, the less that I can create the possibilities to make a change for myself. Which is why I've made the smart choice to write down all of the positive affirmations to remember, from the meaningful and wise words to live by. Now that time has already went past by for this evening, I was feeling quite tired already, so I decided to check up on my watch to see what time is it. 12 a.m. midnight on the dot. It's just the perfect time for me to put all of my stuff away and do my best to get much better sleep. So far on the bright side, I should be proud of myself that I'm doing my best to maintain a better sleeping schedule, because no matter how long it takes for me to get proper sleep, I am succeeding to overcome to fix for what is broken, as I must keep myself a promise to have a fair balance between my health, as well as to make the time to relax and rest well peacefully as I deserve to have it. So then hopefully, I will no longer feel sleepless.